audio. Okay, got audio now. 1 second, screen's gonna go black. Just as we're coming in, let me know how we're all doing in today's live stream. All right, we're fully back now. How's everyone doing? Let's get a quick audio and visual check, make sure everything is okay. Thank you all for joining in today. Smash up the likes as you're coming into this live stream. I do appreciate you all tuning into this one. I had a few things to talk about, but I planned this video right before the pump happened. So now you're going to be getting some fresh, off-the-cuff, unscripted TA, which, as you'd know, is very much what I would consider to be my speciality. So you're in luck. We're both looking at this chart for the first time right now. Let's break it down and let's see what we got. 320 waiting, only 52 likes. There you go, Mark. Thank you so much. Smash up the likes if you guys are excited for this. Josh, in the comments, what are you saying? You got caught in the spam filter, but it's a good question. It's a good comment. Josh saying, time for truth and transparency from my man Sammy. Get the fuck off the channel if you can't handle it. You guys know the deal. You're saying it for me. Let's pin this comment right there. Thank you very much. Shout out to Delilah in the chat. One of our amazing fans out in LA. Let's see what we got. So, here's the thing. Is just before... Well, last time I made a live stream, I was talking about how I was expecting a breakdown. We did get a breakdown, but it didn't really go very far. Interestingly, the fear and greed index dropped really hard. We went from a reading of 29 to a reading of 30. I'm sorry, 20. And so we went right back firmly into extreme fear levels, which is absolutely phenomenal. We're now rising up. I'm hearing a lot of talk about dead cat bounce in the comments. I don't know if it's going to be that. Let's explore that possibility. One thing I want to point out to you guys, though, is that right here, with the volume, we're seeing a little bit more volume coming in. 50 ducks in a hot tub. Haven't heard of a channel like that. I love when you do impromptu, no script shit. Me too, man. Me too. It's fun. It's really, really nice. So let's break this down. Phantom broke out of a falling wedge. All right, this is going to be an eventful small falling wedge right here, I guess. How do you draw this? Yeah, probably something a little bit like this. I don't know if we can count this a breakout just yet, because we had a fake out right here and then we had a very big fake out right here, but this is good. The problem is, like, this chart is breaking out into resistance. So, and that's actually exactly what Bitcoin's doing. Let's just stick to Bitcoin for a minute here as you guys are tuning in. Thanks again for smashing up the likes. Those of you who did, do appreciate you all. That's just thanks for even tuning in at all. 10 p.m. here in Dubai. Let's get straight to it. We're getting a little bit of volume coming in, which is nice. We've really struggled at this level, and I was outlining for you guys, if I just remove these lines now because they're not actually necessary, I was outlining for you guys in my very last live stream how Bitcoin had a little bit of horizontal resistance around this 38k region where we are right now. And actually I had only drawn the box pretty much up to here, but of course it's the very same box, so I can just draw it out a little bit more, just showing you that this range is roughly a resistance area as well. This is also a resistance box, but it's quite large. It's actually larger than it needs to be. Really, I would say that the bulk of this resistance begins a fair bit higher. Perhaps, let's say, 40,000, 39.9, something like that. Which is to say that if we zoom back in, if we manage to break this area, I would expect a fairly quick, plus $1,000 move to put us in the very, very low $40,000 range before potentially continuing on upwards or getting a rejection. And I think you guys know my thoughts on this. First of all, this is now definitely looking like an ascending triangle, which is bullish. These break out to the upside 66% of the time, and 33% of the time downwards, although we are in a downtrend. So the overall likelihood of any bullish breakout is always going to be lower. But this one looks pretty clear to me, especially seeing how the fear level dropped from being in fear yesterday to now extreme fear. We're probably going to see this jump up a fair bit. I would expect a reading around 29, maybe even higher, if we end up getting a bullish breakout towards that 40k range. The problem here is that, there is a lot of resistance. There's a lot of resistance horizontally as well, which is worth covering again. If we do get this breakout, it really looks like it wants to, but at the same time, look at how many days it's been trending upward for. The very bottom here, we got a buy signal. It's not a buy signal, but we got an MRI reversal indication on the MRI indicator. Let me show this to you on a naked chart where I don't have any drawings. We did get the MRI reversal pattern. We got a 9 right here, and then on the same candle we got a 1 right here, indicating that really the way this indicator works is it's counting. Forget everything after, forget everything during and on this candle. Just focus on what happens from here to here. It starts a count of how many consecutive candles are basically generally trading lower. I'm oversimplifying this a lot, but it's a very good indicator, and it's a time-based indicator. So what this means is it analyzes the trend that we're in for time, like during time, right? So this is saying that for basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 consecutive candles, we've generally been trending downwards. Now, it has some conditions that actually makes this quite scientific, but I'm not going to go into them right now because you're going to get really confused if I do. But bottom line, when it reaches a 9 right here, or actually usually a 13, I forgot what the condition is, it can give us a reversal. And we're in that right now. But here's the thing. Again, we can expect to reverse if we reach a 9. And we've now initiated a new count where we've been generally going up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles. If we close this candle here, and then we open the next one anywhere, it's probably also going to be like anywhere around here. It's probably, no, I think it's definitely going to be printing us a number 8. And as soon as we get to 9 or 13, these are generally the 2 candles which can trigger reversals. We can expect a reversal. And so all of this is a very complicated way of me saying, and if you want this indicator, by the way, it's on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 You can search his name up like this. Really, all I'm saying there is that in terms of time-based analysis, on the daily chart, which is of course, in my opinion, perhaps the most important chart, we've been rallying up a lot, perhaps too much. You know, for a downtrend to continuously be rallying up now for what is essentially, I mean, you know, if we just measure this from, you know, I mean, the low that we set here to our current day, we've broadly been in an uptrend for about 9 days right now, and we're approaching resistance. So this is why I don't want us to get too excited right now. It does look nice. It's definitely going to be striking a lot of optimism, but that's what these markets do. You know, a lot of the time, you know, a lot of the people in this market, when this move happened, a lot of people really started switching up their beliefs. You know that we didn't. Those of you who are subscribed and have been to the YouTube channel since then, you'll know that it was actually around here that I was saying we are very, very likely to get a rejection and continue trading lower. I'm so bitter about it. I had a short position that I was ready to enter, and Bitcoin came within just around 1% of entering that position, and I would have been able to ride the whole bitch down. But unfortunately, it's just how it goes in trading. Sometimes you do everything right, but you're just $600 off, and or you know, 1% off with your entry, and you miss the whole damn train. Which is just part of the game. It's gonna happen. At least I know that the decision making was sound. You know, I want you guys to be aware that we could be in a similar situation right now. We've been trending up continuously for quite a few days. We are showing good strength here. Volume is picking back up. Even on the daily time frame, you can start to see it creeping back in. And of course, if we zoom in quite a bit, then we'll see that that trend is much more clear at the moment, showing us that as we are making this new leg up, we are definitely rising nicely and steadily with our volume, which is absolutely great. But of course, only rising into a very strong area of resistance. This was a very strong area of support, and so naturally, you know, the fact that we haven't tested it yet is somewhat concerning. And one of the key things that you'll hear me talking about is if we don't manage to break, you know, if we break below 40k as support right here, which is what we did on, what day was this? That's what we did on the 21st of January, roughly. If we break down below and we don't immediately get back up, we're probably not getting back up. It's, you know, one of the analogies I like to give you here, which is completely unrelated, but for some reason the outcome is the same, is that if you watch movies or whatever on FBI hostage negotiations, or if you just read books about them, you'll generally know that if the authority isn't able to negotiate the release of a hostage within 3 days, the likelihood of ever getting that hostage back drops down very, very low. And it's a similar thing for price action, where if we break below a key level, but we don't manage to recover it instantly, see, we did over here. If we don't manage to recover it instantly, which we didn't right here, it's now been 9 days and we're still fairly, you know, a sizable amount below the resistance area, the chances are not good. That's just generally how it looks. Again, we have fake outs. Here's a perfect example of this. We dropped down, but we really quickly recovered back up and put ourselves back in the mid 40k, even high 40k range. This is an example of what I'm saying working out really well. But if you spend a little bit of time below it, the next time you test this level, good fucking luck. Good luck, because your chances of actually having a successful breakout are not good. This time over here, Bitcoin dropped from 65k, as we know, down to 30k, rallied up, took 7 days to get back up to 40k. But because we couldn't initially get that breakout on the first couple of days, we pretty much lost our chances, and we stayed stuck using this area as resistance for days, weeks, and actually months. From this point, we still got rejected here. I'm counting that rejection. So it actually took us 80 days nearly to break above this resistance area, just because we couldn't break above it initially at first. But when we do get recoveries, they happen quickly. That tells us that it might stick. Very, very important to keep in mind right now. I'm not saying that we're definitely going to get rejected here, but what I am saying is that this is resistance. This has been resistance. It lines up with a lot of indicators that we know are probably going to provide resistance to the market because they've been doing so for a long time. So be careful. That's the main thing I just wanted to get out of the way right here. Smash up the likes if you're just tuning into the live stream, by the way. Do appreciate you all. We got about 1,000 viewers in here. Thank you all very much for the support you've been showing me on these live streams and videos. You already know that's why I love coming back. That's why I love doing these live streams. I love bringing the live streams back. I definitely enjoy them much more than normal videos. So this is always fun for me. That is very important. This should act as resistance, at least initially. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. It's been a very strong level. I just want to remind you all again about how strong this level has been, because perhaps some people are forgetting. When Bitcoin first rallied above 20k, which was right here, all the way up, it only got its first real significant pullback at $42,000, and it dropped down by a lot. There's two key ways you can tell if a resistance level is strong. Number one, does it trigger a strong price-based correction? Yes. Number two, does it trigger a strong time-based correction? Yes. It took Bitcoin 30 days to set a new all-time high after it topped out right here. 31 days. So yes to both. This area triggered a major reversal. On the way back down, do we find support? We actually did, but I guess the daily time frame doesn't really show that very well. The clearest example of finding support was when Bitcoin rallied up to 53k, had a big reversal down, or at least quite a significant but super healthy one in hindsight, really. I mean, this was a very, very healthy reversal, and then managed to blast off to all-time highs. So this level, again, producing a very significant reversal. It took Bitcoin from this point 114 days to break below 40k, so that tells you a lot about how strong this bounce was in terms of time, and it allowed Bitcoin to rally up by 67%. So very, very strong area. Essentially, this is not an area to take lightly. This is a strong area of resistance, and it also lines up with EMA resistance on the daily time frame, which is one of the more concerning resistance tools, indicators that we have to use. It's been acting on the market since we were trading in the low $60,000 range, where we have consistently been rising up into it and finding rejections. Sometimes they were small rejections like here. Other times they were very large rejections like here. Other times they were, kind of in the middle. And then it also triggered the big move down when we had this big final wick, a big push down, and bam, we got pushed down into the low 30k range within 2 days afterwards. So very strong area of resistance as well, currently stretching from 39,500 up to 44,000, pretty much bang on. And so this is to say that even if we manage to get above this box right here, we're still going to be in a lot of resistance. The good news is that with the shorter time frames, we've already cleared a lot of the resistance. If we look at this on the 4-hour time frame, our 4-hour EMA ribbon has actually now lost its spread. But if we end up trending higher, it's probably going to offer us a little bit of short-term support. The 4-hour Ichimoku cloud is not really a threat anymore, in my opinion. We've been able to trade in it for quite a long time now, so this is just not something that concerns me too much at the moment. We're actually very close to breaking out above it, and seeing as that's coming from a pullback and support hit, I'm fairly optimistic about Bitcoin's ability to break above this area of resistance. If it doesn't, it's worth talking about what might happen. And then within a couple of minutes, I also want to talk about what's going to happen if Bitcoin breaks above this resistance area. What is the bullish case and what is the bearish case if we get rejected? But just for now, focusing on this shorter term time frame, if Bitcoin does indeed find resistance here, like it did the past 1, 2, 3 times, if it does it a 4th time right here, where is it going to go? Well, again, it's got support with this ascending triangle line that I showed you in the last live stream, although I did draw it a little bit differently in the last live stream. It does have some support here, so perhaps we could say the low $37,000 region, but more likely I don't expect that this support level is going to hold. We've tested it now quite a few times. I would expect that perhaps we drop down to around 36,000, maybe drop back into this pocket between 34 and 36. This would be quite a nice potential buy area for Bitcoin if it does drop down into this region. Not to say that it won't drop lower, but just overall, it's a nice buy area in my opinion for where Bitcoin could be. And if we drop below this, I am looking at the very low 30k range. So kind of 32,000 all the way down to about 30,000. I wouldn't expect that we find support at, 33 is also potentially an area of support, but really the main one is going to be the very low 30k range. So I think we would be looking at quite a drop if we drop down from here right now. And also pretty much the same thing if we got a rejection at 40k. What I would be looking for here is if we manage to rise into this range and we come back down, do we find support off this level? I think there's quite a good case to be made that Bitcoin might be able to find support off the $38,000 area. And the reason I'm saying that is that since we've traded down in this region, we've been able to find a pretty good amount of consistent resistance. And naturally, I say this in both directions. A lot of people think I'm a perma bear. I'm not. I'm just realistic. If the market is moving up, I'll tell you the signs that are bullish. And one of the bullish ones right here is that we've had such clean resistance. This is something that a lot of people don't get. You guys asked me to look at shitcoins like Luna. And obviously, I got to start becoming a little bit of a savage again. Furry jacket's just in front of me, so if I need it, I'm going to go get it. But, you guys asked me to look at coins like Luna. And one of the key things that you'll hear me talking about all the time is that these charts just haven't really established any clean resistance on the way up. So we can't really expect any support on the way down. That's why it drops so quickly. We're looking at within 12 days, it loses 40% of its value. And then within 35 days, just over a month, you've lost more than half of your money if you've held it from the all-time high. That's why coins like this drop so hard. It's because they don't manage to establish real resistance on the way up. But when you do manage to establish real resistance on the way up, you actually have a good chance at finding support if you end up moving back down. That's why, for example, if we look at this 30k range, this isn't quite the same thing because we didn't really find resistance here. We only found support in this range. But when we found support here, this was a key level for the market. And so naturally, when we're coming back down, this is a level that we can expect to find bounces at 30k. We previously interacted with this level and formed a reversal. So naturally, we can expect another reversal if we come back down to this level. An even better example would be the 40k range right here, where Bitcoin found resistance, and then we fast forward all the way to the end of July of last year, and we're able to, to the end of September of last year, and we're able to find quite beautiful support. It's because we found resistance in the past, and it's because this level was interacted with as resistance throughout summer of last year as well. That's why we were able to find support here. That's what happens when we find resistance. We build future support. This is a very important thing to understand as a trader and an analyst, because you're going to start to understand what a healthy market looks like. And that's really important because if you don't know what a healthy market looks like, you start throwing your money at shitcoins and losing it. If you understand what a healthy market looks like, you'll make better, more informed decisions. Now, that's not going to matter to the guy that's only holding $100. But if you have any amount of capital that you deem to be very, very serious for you, something that's important that you must protect, but also, you want to grow aggressively as well, knowing these things is the difference between losing your money and actually, staying a consistently healthy, sustainable trader in the long term. It's knowing these differences. I'm only speaking to you about this stuff because I had to learn this shit the hard way. I've been around in the market for nearly 5 years now, and I just kept on getting kicked in the teeth until I was able to learn these lessons. So please don't do what I did. It's going to cost you money, and worse than that, it's going to cost you time and opportunities. So save yourself from it where you can. If you appreciate these little nuggets that I like to drop in these videos and live streams, just do me a favor and smash up the likes. If you're new to this channel as well, you know what to do. Hit up the subscribe button, tick the bell, make sure that you don't miss this content. If you want to jump inside of Force Slice Gold with the first link in the description down below, you're also going to get more updates and alerts on the analysis that I'm putting out completely free of charge inside of my Telegram channel. So please do check that out as well. We also occasionally drop exclusive videos in there and stuff like that, even insights into our VIP group for free. So again, it's all linked down below. Actually, we give quite a few insights into VIP, but never trade setups. We just kind of distill some of the VIP content into gold. So if you like that, if you like what I'm putting out here and you want some more stuff completely free of charge, it's with the first link in the description. Moving back to the video though, very, very important note. If we do end up finding resistance here, it would be beautiful to expect a little bit of support right here. If we do get it, that would then actually make me very optimistic that Bitcoin might be able to break above this resistance area and get to the top of the resistance ribbon on the 1-day time frame, which would be at about 44, but more so to blast off much higher. So let's talk about that bullish case. Let's say somehow whether we get a pullback and then break out, or we just shoot straight up. Let's see what might happen next. Let's zoom back out a little bit onto the daily time frame, and let's talk about where the next resistance levels are, because that's what we're going to be battling. As we're coming out of a range where we've been trading, as we're coming out of a market where we've been trading downwards for a long time, we need to outline where resistance might be, because that's what we're going to keep on facing. This is fairly straightforward. All I'm really looking at is I want to see how Bitcoin interacts with highs that it's set throughout this downtrend. So pretty much any of these yellow lines. This is a little bit of a difficult exercise, but yeah, these are the key levels that I'd probably be looking at. The last one is obviously very obvious because it's the all-time high right there. So I'd be looking at, you know, 44, mid 44k range, 52k range. That's where we had the big rejection right here. Then the 60k range, and then of course the all-time high. I don't even want to keep those last lines here. Let's just talk about the 44k range at the moment. This would be the real, if we manage to break this prior high, this would be the real indication that we're now out of a downtrend, in my opinion. Please take note of the fact that this is $6,000 away, right? That is like 18% upward from here. Let me just calculate this so I'm not wrong. Okay, no, it's not that bad. It's about a 15% move, 15 to 16% move up from where we are right now. That's quite a sizable move. This whole rally that we've had from the low to where we are right now is roughly a 15% move. Actually, it's less than that. It's a 12% move. From the low to our current price, this is about a 16% move. So we would need to do this whole thing again, and bearing in mind, this took us 9 days and we didn't really hit any real areas of resistance. This is a thing, again, that's got me really concerned about the market right now, is that it's taken us so long to form this reaction rally. And in my opinion, there's just not a lot of resistance in this range until we hit 40k. And we're talking about pulling the exact same move percentage-wise again right now, just in order to reach the top of the resistance band. Not even to break it, just to reach it. Which is to say that this is where the real test happens. It's everything kind of in this big range right here, and we haven't even hit that range yet. That's why I get a little bit concerned when I see the excitement, although we do need it. But you know what I like to see even more is that we fall back into levels of extreme fear just compared to yesterday, where we were in normal fear, almost potentially getting ready to start knocking on the door of being in neutral territory with this index. So that tells us a lot about where the market might be, and just how we're snapping back to fear really quickly. That's a very, very good sign. If we do manage to break $44,000, these things might get very, very exciting very quickly. I would expect that Bitcoin is going to be able to rise back up to the 52k range pretty quickly at that point. There is still quite a bit of resistance, but we're broadly speaking in the same range that I spoke to you guys about before, where we generally just, and you've heard me saying this a million times, we generally zip all the way up or all the way down or all the way up with a fake out right here, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, and up and down. And so naturally, if we manage to break this area, I wouldn't expect that it's going to be difficult for Bitcoin to get to the top of this range within the low $50,000 range. This, what I've just described, is an area of what I would call low liquidity, where generally the price just zips between two levels. It might do it quickly. It's done it quickly in the past. You know, the first time we did it, it was fairly quickly. When we were dropping, it was extremely quick. When we were rising over here, it was extremely quick. This wick was obviously the quickest interaction we had with the whole price range ever. So, you know, we can do it quickly, we can do it slowly, but bottom line, it's generally a pretty safe bet that the market moves between these two areas pretty quickly without much trouble. And so that's worth keeping in mind. You know, I don't think it would be too difficult for Bitcoin at that point, and that's where things would get really exciting, because then we're looking at actually truly being in an uptrend, and I would actually become really optimistic if Bitcoin managed to break above that mid 40k range. So that's what I'm seeing in terms of the bullish case. In terms of the bearish case, yep, still looking at potentially targeting low 30s again. I'm hearing a lot of talk of Bitcoin potentially ending up being in some sort of, you know, a kind of ranging market. I'm not just hearing this. This is kind of what one of my pieces of analysis has been saying as well. I don't want to rule that out. I still think that there is a real possibility of Bitcoin being in a shit range for a while, and then we blast off afterwards, almost exactly like what happened previously, where it just kind of traded sideways and then blew up, or actually it formed a little falling wedge that looked a little bit like this. We very much could still do something like that and just kind of consolidate downwards and then bam, just blow up and break the ceiling. It would make a lot of sense. Yeah, because at the moment this just looks like such a clear reaction rally to me that I really wouldn't want to get too excited about it at all at the moment. Yeah, I also want to take a quick look at some of the altcoins as well. Got a fair... This is the thing, as I was saying, I had a lot of notes that I was ready to go through, but the market just started moving, so I can't even use them anymore. If you do have questions for me, by the way, now's the time to start dropping them in the comments, and do make sure that you tag me. Just write my name at @SammyLoyal for flies. It should autofill to say my name, and if you do that, I will read your comment. If you don't, I will not read your comment. So please make sure you do that if you do actually want to hear my thoughts on this stuff. And I actually just want to, yeah, right now I want to switch this over to some of the altcoins. If you're enjoying this live stream so far, smash up the likes. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. You already know the deal. Let's take a very quick look at some of the key altcoins that I've been watching. I want to start off with Ethereum. Ethereum's gained a nice little bit of strength against Bitcoin, which is pretty nice. Let's see where it is against the dollar. Okay, so Ethereum's just reaching its key area of resistance right now. Bitcoin didn't quite manage to break its area yet. It didn't even reach its area, but Ethereum has reached its area of resistance. This is a somewhat misleading chart, because you could actually say that the resistance stretches all the way up to like 3,200. Just putting it out there. What is 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗙𝗪𝗔 saying? Let's take a quick look at that. I haven't spoken about 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗙𝗪𝗔 for a couple days. Let's see what 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗙𝗪𝗔 is saying about the market right now on the daily time frame. 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗙𝗪𝗔 is of course linked in the description if you guys want to check it out. Great tool set for a very cheap price. Still not even showing us signs of being in a reversal. 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗙𝗪𝗔 is still very firmly bearish. It gave its sell signal very impressively around $61,000, and ever since then the price nearly halved. And it's still bearish, so not good, unfortunately. Not showing any indications of this sell-off coming to an end anytime soon, unfortunately, just from what we're seeing right here. Just want to also take a quick look at, yeah, S&P 500 just opened up recently. It's in a nice rebound. See, this can be a classic situation of, you know, we were previously, actually this wasn't really even an area of support, but, you know, there was something going on here where on this chart we could probably draw this line a little bit differently and say that, you know, perhaps the S&P 500 had a little bit of support right here with this line. If it comes back up and finds a rejection here, that would be very, very bad in my opinion. US dollar also worth taking a brief look at. It got a big breakout. This is the breakout that I was really fearing. It didn't really do anything to Bitcoin, which was quite surprising for me, but it's now dropping down. So this drop could pave the way for Bitcoin to rise pretty nicely. We generally see that while the dollar is dropping, Bitcoin performs well, and while the dollar is rising, Bitcoin performs poorly. And there's a lot of, I think, fairly obvious reasons for it, but I don't want to go into that right now. Someone's asking about Shiba. Let's actually just stick to Ethereum for a minute. Let's see if I have any other. Actually, no, I pretty much said everything I wanted to say about Shiba. I'm sorry, Ethereum. Shiba's not really doing anything at all. It's still just floating around in a massive dirty bear flag. It's not even recovering up, which is so sad. It's in a very, very bad place. Forthlights, my gut is telling me we aren't going up for some time. We're in a crazy time right now worldwide, but this is what my gut is feeling only. I feel you, man. I'm hearing a lot of sentiment like that. It would be strange if Bitcoin did start breaking resistance right now, in my opinion. Yeah, this is not the kind of pattern that you form when you break resistance. This is a very typical reaction rally, which you form before you get another rejection. That's just what it looks like to me from my experience of analyzing these charts. But of course, I mean, I wouldn't want to completely rule anything out as well, because then I wouldn't be a very responsible analyst. I think so many people are fearful of what the United States government has planned for crypto for February. I don't think so, dude. I don't think most people care about that. It's hard to regulate something like Bitcoin, isn't it? I mean, I guess what people are concerned about is the interest rates. I'm concerned about that as well. But I don't know. I mean, people didn't even care about Russia or China banning Bitcoin, really. I mean, it may have triggered a small dump, but nothing significant. So I wouldn't be too worried about the US either. I'm getting a lot of questions about random shit coins. I don't want to look at them. I heard of Digibyte in this chat. Digibyte died years ago, so I'm not even going to pull that up. I'd just be... I mean, I personally want to take a look at it, but I don't want to bore everybody else. Got a question, what about Solana? Let's take a look at Solana. Solana's been doing pretty well, all things considered. I was expecting a much bigger crash. It's a pretty disgusting big crash, to be honest, but I was expecting it would drop all the way down to like 45 very quickly. It didn't do that. It's kind of stopped halfway to my target, a little bit more than halfway. It's forming, I mean, it's consolidating in the middle of nothing. Like, there's no price action here. There's no previous support or resistance in this range, and it's just consolidating. And that is generally a major sign of the market continuing to trend downwards. The Solana chart is terrible in my opinion. I would be surprised if it managed to break up. The only, and of course it has heavy resistance here in the $130 range. The only thing that I think could save Solana right now is if there's a nice Fibonacci level that it just bounced from, but it doesn't even have that going for it. It's dropped below its 618 level. It has 786 support down at $75, but it's not a very strong area of support in my opinion. Resistance at 170. Yeah, not good. Not good. It's not looking too nice in my opinion. Let me just extend this out even further. Still nothing. No support. Even if we extend it all the way back to the very beginning of this rally at the end of December, we're still under the 618 level. And in fact, we're right at resistance. There's not a single good thing I can say about the Solana chart right now. It's right in the middle of the range. The only thing I would keep in mind is that because it's in the middle of, a big resistance range here, which, by the way, we were actually predicting. I made a big video on this before the whole thing even dropped. Those of you who are subscribed will know all about that. When we're in the middle of a big resistance range and a big support range, you can expect a lot of volatility, right? I mean, the market very well could zip really, really high and then low, and it can just do a lot of stupid, annoying stuff. But broadly speaking, it's in a really bad place, in my opinion. So, that's my opinion on Solana. I just want to keep, guys, there's way too many. Wait, we need to, am I not offending you guys enough? Like, why are there so many shitcoin questions? Am I not like rude enough on this YouTube channel to the point where like I'm getting all these questions about shitcoins? I don't want to look at them, primarily because I only want to focus on the big ones. Most people aren't going to be interested in your little small community of a shitcoin. And obviously I've got to make sure that these live streams are engaging for as many people as possible. And beyond that, I also don't care. So I only want to look at the bigger coins. That's why I'm taking coins like Solana, Phantom, for example. I suppose I could make an exception for VeChain and Aave as well. Let's take a quick look at them too. Let's see what's going on. Oh wow, VeChain's performing very badly. Is this VeChain or is this a different one? I forgot. I think VeChain had a different name, didn't it? It might have been Ven, different ticker. Anyway, this is a terrible chart. It's below all of its support. It's similar to Solana. It has a little bit more support, but it's a bad chart. Resistance up at 7.2 cents. It's right now at 5.3. Yeah, across the board, I think we're going to be seeing that these coins are in bad positions. Quick look at Aave. Let's see if we can see anything interesting here. Aave even worse. Its resistance is so much higher. Its key resistance that I'm seeing on this chart is probably going to be like, yeah, $300. This was a very, very important level for Aave. You can see a lot of big reversals coming off this level and a very nasty big rejection. And at that, it previously found support at 160. This time we collapsed below it, $30 lower. So Aave is also in a very bad place from what I can see on this chart. I am aware that this isn't really enough price history, so let's see if I can zoom out even further on Aave and see if it gives me even more of an insight. I mean, it's a pretty new coin, so it's not that new actually. It's just not on the... Does anyone know which exchange I can use? Would Poloniex have more price history? Bittrex probably would. Sorry, I want that. Now I'm getting annoyed. Now I just want to see it. No, Bittrex. Did it just launch in like November? I swear I remember this coin from... Oh, this is 2020. Yeah, no, this is correct. Okay. For some reason, I thought that this was 2021. All right, well then it's in a really bad position because now it's in price discovery mode. See, there's two forms of price discovery mode. The first one is like Bitcoin setting its brand new all-time highs, and then you're like, oh shit, where are we going to go? Where will we find resistance? That's price discovery mode on the upside. We're in price discovery mode on the downside right now. Actually, we're not technically in price discovery mode until like we drop below kind of like $50, $60. But I mean, really, yeah, there isn't much price history here. So it's in a really, really bad place. It's in a really bad place. But that's what you see with these altcoins. I mean, I've said my pieces on them. I don't want to repeat it because it's annoying, but yeah, I have very, very strong opinions on this stuff. I mean, it's such a bad idea to be holding these coins, and you guys are seeing it now. I just wish that... I mean, I was very vocal about this when everything was rosy as well. I don't know how many of you guys took me seriously back then, but I know some of you did. So shout out to those of you who did, who protected yourselves. Can I talk about Cardano? Yes, sir. I'm very, very interested in Cardano. You guys know what I think. It is a classic shitcoin, but I do believe that it's going to reach its all-time high again. So I'm very interested in Cardano. It's really struggling in this $1 area. The last time Cardano struggled in its $1 area was right here in March of 2021. Where it managed to get a breakout and came right back down. And then it broke out again and came right back down. And then it broke out again and it broke out for real. But it came right back down. Actually, 4 times. Once, twice, thrice, and a 4th time right here. It's struggling again right now. Not a good sign. We did get a few fake outs below it. We were kind of expecting that. If we get a conclusive drop for Cardano below this $1 area, it's in some real deep shit. Because there's no support for Cardano on this chart. Again, as I was saying earlier on in this live stream, those of you who are tuned in since then, because you got your notifications, because you're in our Telegram channel, for example, you're going to know all about that. You know, I've been talking about how, yeah, there is no real support on this chart for Cardano if it ends up dropping until like 40 cents. You guys know I was trading this. I've actually restructured my trading strategy a little bit because of how Cardano is moving. I've restructured it for the whole market. VIPs are seeing the result of that right now. It is 50% off. It's going to end very, very soon. I don't actually know. Maybe it has ended already, actually. I'm not sure because thankfully I don't even run my company anymore. I was smart enough to hire a CEO who's doing a fantastic job. So I can't even tell you what's going on there. And trust me, I love that peace of mind. It makes me a better trader. So if you do want to jump inside and see if that discount is still on offer, I think it is, then yeah, follow the first link in the description down below. That's going to take you to our free channel where you get even more analysis. Click on my name and then click on send message to ask me how to join. I do know that the Bybit offer ends today. So if you want $4,100 for free just for signing up to Bybit, you can sign up to Bybit using my link in the description down below. And as soon as you make your first deposit, you're going to get a bonus, which can go up to $4,100. The more you deposit, the more free money you get. You can do whatever you like with that free money. It's yours. You can trade with it. And any profits you get to keep. Very, very exciting. This does end today. So if you've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason you don't like free money, then now's your final chance to jump inside. And then, of course, yeah, if you want to jump inside a VIP as well, the steps are, as I said, on screen right now for you to jump on inside of VIP. Sammy Loyal, you're so rude. I don't think I'm rude enough to lie that. I don't think I'm rude enough. Because we have a bunch of shitcoin holders in the chat today. We need to cleanse you guys out. Either you fix yourselves and become more Bitcoin maxis, or you just keep on losing money. It's usually only going to go one of those two ways. And then, yeah, you'd either leave or become more of a big Bitcoin maxi. I'm only speaking. I mean, I've gone through this shit a million times, right? Like, that's why I'm saying this. Like, I've seen the cycles. I've seen the cycles. So that's why I say these things. Let's see what other questions we have here. I like your green screen. Oh, we're back to this, are we? What's my opinion on an alt season happening in 2022? And being started by a coin aside from ETH. AVAX did as many transactions as ETH a few days ago. Transaction numbers, like in terms of how many transactions there are, isn't as important as transaction value. So I'd be interested in hearing that data. Will an alt season be started by something not Ethereum? I don't think so. At least not for a while, because maybe XRP. But primarily because the way we get these... Oh wow, my shirt is like so wonky right now. What is it? Looks like I'm sitting sideways. Is my camera sideways? It is a bit sideways. Anyway, the reason I think that the next alt season we see... For those of you who don't know, alt season basically means when altcoins blow up and they're trading really, really nicely. It happens, you know, a couple times a year maybe. The reason that I don't think that we're looking at something like that happening with anything other than Ethereum is because the only real way that you tend to get alt seasons is if the big safer coins are performing well, and then people are willing to risk their money because they're feeling greedy. They want to risk their money to make even more money because greed is, you know, like a drug. And I'm sorry, I'm in the Burj Khalifa and there's a fucking ant running around on my desk. Like, how does that even happen? And there was just a fly. Like, I've never seen an insect in the Burj Khalifa in my life. So that is really weird. I'm wondering what's going on with the ventilation. And it's not like I'm low in the... Like, look at the view behind me. Like, I'm super high up. So, anyway. I would expect that it's going to... You know, first Bitcoin will be performing very well, and then people will want to diversify into coins like Ethereum, and then from there, Ethereum will do well, and so they'll want to diversify into coins like perhaps Cardano, and then the really small ones. And it's generally the smallest coins that perform the best at the very end of those cycles. So that's what I would be seeing right there. Someone's saying I look fire. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Been hitting the gym very, very consistently. Been doing very well. Is there a minimum deposit to receive the 4.1k? Yes, and there may be one more condition. I think you get like 3,900 just with the deposit, and there's one more condition for 4.1. I actually can't remember. But you'll have the information when you sign up. All right, guys. I don't know how to say this more clearly. Let's not do any more shit. Oh, I see the problem. You don't think that your coins are shit coins. That's why you keep on saying them. Any coin that's not Bitcoin is a shit coin. Let's just get this out of the way. Maybe with the exception of Ethereum, in my opinion, but at a push. So let's just stick to Bitcoin or broad market questions for now. I don't have much long left, but I do want to go through a couple more questions. And Someone's saying liquidate Bitcoin and buy a camera. It's not actually the camera, man. It's not actually the camera. I wish it was. Look at the S&P 500. I already did. Just rewind the live stream a little bit. Do your ears pop in the elevator? Yes, they do. It is a process to get as high as I am right now in the Burj Khalifa. Although I'm grateful that the lifts are very quick here. So what do I see with XRP, and do I consider that a shitcoin? I mean, XRP is the absolute total embodiment of a shitcoin. It's like asking me, do I think that a standard politician tells lies? You know, like, yes. Yes, they do. Yes, XRP is a shitcoin. XRP is also right under a resistance range. If it manages to break this range, it would probably be able to rally up really quickly, though. This resistance range at 63 cents, like, there's not much more resistance until, like, 82 on this chart. So we could be looking at a really quick move up for XRP if it breaks resistance. But if it doesn't, it is at resistance right now, and the drops can be quite savage. We'd be looking at, yeah, I mean, like, the low 40s, maybe even, like, low 20-cent area. So yeah, bad chart as well for XRP, unfortunately. What's my estimated time frame to see another leg down? Thank you very much, Josh. These are the kind of questions I'd love to answer for this live stream. Estimated time frame to see another, and that's not to say the other questions are bad, it's just that this is a broad one that I am much more suited to respond to. Although, unfortunately, I can't respond to that one because my answer is it depends. I'm sorry, I just had to think about my answer there. If we see another leg down, first of all, because we don't know if any, you know, we have no idea about what's going to happen. We're only speculating and exploring probabilities because that's what responsible analysts do. They don't rub a fucking crystal ball and then be like, yeah, we're going up because the moon is aligning this way and I follow astrology. Like, no, we look at probabilities. That's what a real analyst would do. If we did see another leg down, I would expect that it would come after potentially finding a rejection here. Although I think it would happen quickly, perhaps within the next week, within the next 7 days. The market is not super volatile right now, but it's fairly volatile. You know, we're not moving